I cover politics and the Utah legislature for the Salt Lake Tribune. One of the things I have to do is keep tabs on lawmakers. One of the best ways to do that is to subscribe to email newsletters. Last week, a number of Republicans in the House sent out their first email newsletter. The legislature started on Tuesday of last week. They took Monday off for observance of the Martin Luther King holiday. All these newsletters took note of that day, as any good politician should, but there was something very strange about that. One of the first things that you'll notice is all of the newsletters pretty much look the same. It'll have this picture of the front steps of the Utah Capitol on it. This one is from Representative Cal Musselman. If you scroll down, you'll see a number of things that are uniform across all the newsletters, including this bit about swearing in the new representatives. That picture you'll see a lot. The legislative priorities, everybody has that in their newsletter. State of the State, which happened last week as well. Governor Spencer Cox speaking. But then we get to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And you'll see that in his newsletter, Representative Musselman says, "This past Monday, we had the opportunity to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. I am grateful for the strides he took and the sacrifices he made to better our country." Okay, so nothing remarkable about that. It's pretty much what you expect to see from any politician. Again, the same picture of the front steps of the Capitol. You scroll down, you're seeing a lot of the same stuff. Here's something different. He met with some students. They highlighted that in the newsletter. There's the picture of the new representative. Here's the legislative priorities. Same post about State of the State. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This past Monday, we had the opportunity to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. I am grateful for the strides he took and the sacrifices he made to better our country. That's strange. Maybe it was just an error. Let's look at another one. Here is the newsletter from Representative Jeff Stenquist. Again, a lot of the same content. Here he is talking about bills that he passed, meeting with some youth at the Capitol, a town hall meeting, legislative priorities, different picture for State of the State. We get to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I am grateful for the strides he took and the sacrifices he made to better our country. This is not good. Utah does not have the best record when it comes to Martin Luther King Day. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed legislation making it a federal holiday, but Utah was one of the very last states to recognize it as a state holiday. In 1986, there was a bill in the Utah legislature to make Martin Luther King Day a state holiday. Coretta Scott King, Martin Luther King's widow, even came to the state. She was in attendance in the Utah Senate when they voted against that, instead making the holiday Human Rights Day. Utah did not recognize Martin Luther King Day until 2000, one of the very last states to do so. South Carolina was actually the last later that year. Republicans in the Utah House of Representatives have been doing a lot to standardize their communications, to make sure they're all on the same page using the same talking points. Some of the lawmakers did vary the content of their newsletter, talking about local groups they met with, schools, some of the bills they're running. They all ran the very same statement about Martin Luther King Day. It was even in House Speaker Brad Wilson's email newsletter. He didn't change a single word either. Apparently, they really want us to know that they are grateful for the strides he took and the sacrifices he made to better our country.